I've been through a lot of shit for the past couple years.
While Foxy Brown first came onto the rap scene, it seemed like she was going to dominate it. But then everything fell apart for her when she had a bizarre run-in with the law. And the story of what happened to her after is truly unbelievable. From the very beginning, Foxy knew that she wanted to amount to something more than the average girl in her neighborhood would. In an interview with the New York Post, she revealed that she didn't want to be the young black girl having a baby and being on welfare. That wasn't going to be her story. And after a few failed attempts to develop her rap persona and make a name for herself, she found her footing when she gave herself the moniker of Pam Grier's movie character, Foxy Brown. At the ripe old age of 15, Foxy's life changed when she was introduced to Jay-Z, who helped get her career on track. After she had some success featuring on the singles of some of the biggest hip-hop artists of the 90s, Foxy got her big break when she dropped her first solo album in 1996. 3 Nana made its way to number 7 on the Billboard 200 and was certified platinum just a few months later. This was seriously impressive for a teenage girl just starting out in a male-dominated genre of music. But even though she had such immense success from the start, it still wasn't enough to prevent her career from being affected by her personal life. I think Foxy had what you might call a little bit of an attitude problem and a seriously scary temper. While riding on the success of her first album, Foxy got the chance to be on the cover of Source magazine alongside her friend and fellow hip-hop artist Lil Kim. But the difference in how they behaved during their separate interviews was alarming. The journalist who interviewed them, Michael Gonzalez, noted that Lil Kim was so nice, like somebody's little sister, but you won't believe what he had to say about Foxy. I guess he had a much less friendly experience with her because he described her as a diva. Apparently, she wasn't satisfied with the Lincoln Town car that they were going to ride in and demanded that they get a limousine instead. But that was nothing compared to the other drama she caused. We can't forget about the time she was promoting her album in North Carolina. The Village Voice reported that Foxy terrified 2 hotel employees when they were unable to find an iron that she'd asked for. Allegedly, she spat at them and then threatened that she'd hit one of them with a fishbowl. I know, you can't make this stuff up. She reportedly ended up missing her court appearance and got a 30-day suspended sentence plus 80 hours of community service. And that was just the beginning of her run-ins with the law. In 1998, Foxy once again made her mark on the world of hip-hop when she released her second album, China Doll, and it debuted at number 1. Apart from Lauryn Hill, she was the first female rap artist to have ever done that. But things weren't working out as well for her in her private life. In 2000, MTV reported that Foxy was in a car accident and had to be taken to the hospital. She then got fined for driving on a suspended license. Some months later, she supposedly checked into rehab because of a substance addiction issue. But despite her personal troubles, Foxy was still able to keep her career afloat at this point and was working on her third and final album. In 2001, Broken Silence was released and debuted at number 5. It received mostly positive reviews from critics, and one track was even nominated for a Grammy. But that was the last time Foxy really had that type of success in the music industry. After that, she kept finding herself in hot water, and her personal issues would go on to affect her career path in a seriously bad way. Not only did her legal problems get in the way of hard work, but she also struggled to maintain good relationships with other people in the business too. Like Lil Kim, for example, when they were first coming up in the hip-hop world, they were actually good friends and would apparently speak on the phone to each other for hours. Foxy told Vibe magazine that the pair had even made a pact to help each other's careers, and Kim stayed true to her word. When she began to have success with the industry giants like the Notorious Big, she used her newfound clout to introduce Foxy to legendary rappers Nas and AZ. But over the years, their relationship turned sour, and to the point where they were having a full-on feud and were dissing each other through their music. Then in 2001, everything officially came crashing down between them due to a fateful incident outside the Hot 97 studios in New York, and what went down that day was seriously unbelievable. A report by Complex revealed that Lil Kim was supposedly mad about a diss verse that Foxy had recorded on Capone and Noreagas' track Bang Bang.
After 2-3 years of just being verbally attacked.
So when Lil Kim's crew bumped into Capone and his entourage outside the studios, a dangerous fight broke out between them all. 21 shots were fired, and one of Capone's guys was even shot. Apparently, Foxy tried to make up with Kim afterward, but her apology wasn't accepted.
We just want to stop it. We just want to say, look, let's put an end to it.
Kim actually ended up going to jail for a year because of the incident and for lying about her involvement in it. But she wasn't the only one getting into trouble with the law around that time. In 2004, Foxy made headlines again when she was sentenced to 3 years probation for something pretty wild. She allegedly attacked 2 nail technicians after getting into an argument with them because she was unwilling to pay her $20 bill. A year later, though, things were starting to look up for Foxy. She signed with Def Jam Records after Jay-Z became the CEO, and she was working on her 4th album titled Black Roses. But then life hit her with a brutal bump in the road, and her world almost fell apart. apart. One morning, she woke up to find that she couldn't hear anything. She'd gone completely deaf. She couldn't believe what was happening to her. In an interview with People, she said that she thought God would never do that to her, that it could never happen to her. She was perfectly healthy. She was 26 years old at the time, and people just didn't go deaf overnight.
Suddenly, I became reclusive, privately suffering with the devastating news of my hearing loss.
It turned out that it was a result of a viral infection. Foxy needed to get surgery. Luckily, it was a success, but sadly, she was still hearing impaired and needed to use hearing aids. The health scare obviously had a big impact on her life and career, and in the end, Black Roses was shelved. Foxy left Def Jam to start her own record label called Black Roses Entertainment in 2007, but I don't know, guys, it seemed like Foxy was her own worst enemy at times, because the mess of situation she got herself into in her private life kept getting in the way of her career. She had plans to release a new album called Brooklyn's Done Diva, followed by the Black Roses album a year later, but you'll never guess what got in the way of that. So get this, Foxy reportedly threw her BlackBerry phone at her neighbor and then violated her probation by leaving New York. It led to her going to prison for 8 months. The next few years were filled with more shocking legal trouble. According to TMZ, in 2011, she failed to perform at a fashion show in New York after showing up under the influence and locking herself in the bathroom until she had to be escorted out by security. Just 1 month later, she performed on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, and she ended up in a seriously ugly situation. After turning up 3 hours late for a nail appointment, she allegedly made a huge scene after the technicians refused to serve her, and she once again had to be taken away by security. In the mid to late 2010s, things went quiet with Foxy until the news came out that she had a daughter back in 2017.
Foxy Brown's daughter.
Who's the father? Well, it's never really been officially confirmed, but a lot of people believe it's her ex, the rapper Sprague Benz.
Not a romantic relationship, but very good friend.
But Foxy shared via social media that she was raising the child alone by posting, "I do it solo." She also confessed online that her daughter saved her life in a caption she wrote for a picture of her little girl. But music-wise, she's definitely gone quiet over the last several years. She was last featured on one of Nas's tracks from his 2020 album, and has supposedly been working on her 4th album called King Soon Come since 2017. So who knows if she'll ever get back onto the music scene again, but she will always have her legacy of being one of the founding female rappers in the hip-hop industry. Anyway, what do you guys think? Did you know that Foxy almost went deaf at such a young age? Do you think she could have become as big as Nicki Minaj if her legal troubles hadn't gotten in the way of her career? Let me know in the comments below.